All our stories come from the Bible, and the first book of the Bible is called Genesis, which means beginning. The creation took 6 days, and God rested on the 7th. After that, God created a garden called the Garden of Eden, and filled it with many plants and animals. He also created a man and woman to live there, and they were very happy. The man was called Adam and the woman Eve. They were not just two individuals, but were the name for all the first people on earth. There were 2 main trees in the garden. The people could eat the fruit of one of the trees, called the tree of life, but they were not allowed to eat the fruit of the other tree, called the tree of knowledge of good and evil. One of the creatures living in the garden was a serpent, a kind of snake, and one day the serpent encouraged Eve to eat some fruit of the forbidden tree. It tasted good, and so she gave some to Adam, and he also ate some. Eating fruit from the forbidden tree meant that they began to think that they could decide for themselves what was good by what seemed pleasant to them, rather than by what God had taught them. We all have a serpent in us, tempting us to do something that seems really fun or pleasant, and we think will make us happy, even though we have been told not to do it, or told that it is wrong. God was very disappointed with the people because of this disobedience, and they had to leave the garden and work for their food, and were never happy in the same way again. So that is where the trouble began. The people gradually became worse and worse, until most of them were so bad that God could no longer make any impression on their hearts and minds. They could not even think anything but selfish thoughts, and this selfishness is pictured in the Bible by a great flood. But there were some good people who are represented by a man called Noah, and God was able to save them. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. God told Noah to build an ark and take his wife and sons and their families and 2 of every kind of animal and bird into the ark. And then the rain started. And when the water got deep, the ark floated and they were safe. When you hear about water in the Bible, it is either referring to something that is clean and true, such as good thoughts and helpful actions. But it can mean the opposite, something that is bad, not true, or wrong ideas, as it does in the story of Noah and the great destroying flood. The ark is pictured in the Bible as a large boat, but the word really means a box or chest of any size in which to keep something safe. We all need an ark to keep us safe from the flood of wrong thoughts and bad feelings, which can make us very unhappy. This ark is a strong character, built from listening to our parents and teachers and doing what we are told, so that as we grow older, we are able to resist wrong thoughts and bad feelings and stay on the right path as taught by God. So even though there was probably not a massive flood which destroyed everything on earth, archaeologists have found proof that there was a very big flood in the area where it is thought the people represented by Noah lived, and stories from that time were handed down from generation to generation by the people who survived. God was able to use this history to create a story in the Bible of what can happen when evil floods into people and destroys their ability to remain good and kind.